and welcome to SpeakEasy Stories. I'm really glad you're here today. This is a calm space where you can practice English naturally. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. Today, I want to tell you a story about fear, silence, and one small moment of courage. The story is called The Day I Finally Spoke Up. Take a breath and let's begin. My name is Lucas. I am 30 years old, and I live in a city that never seems to slow down. People walk fast, talk fast, and expect answers quickly. I work in a medium-sized company as a project coordinator. Most of my work is online: emails, documents, schedules, and messages. I understand English well. I read it every day. I hear it in meetings. But speaking is different. When I speak English, my thoughts don't move as fast as everyone else's. By the time I find the right words, the conversation has already moved on. So I learned to stay quiet. In meetings, I listened carefully. I nodded, I took notes. People thought I was calm, but inside, I was holding many sentences that never came out. I told myself excuses. I'll speak next time. I need more practice. Someone else will say it. Weeks passed, then months. One morning, my manager sent a message to the team. We have a client presentation on Friday. Everyone should be ready to share updates. When I read that message, my stomach tightened. I knew I had something important to say. I had worked on a key part of the project. I had found a problem and a solution. But the idea of explaining it out loud scared me. All week, I prepared silently. I wrote notes, I practiced sentences in my head while walking to work, I whispered explanations while cooking dinner. Every version sounded good in my mind, but my voice still felt unsure. Friday arrived faster than I wanted. We gathered in the meeting room. Some people joined online. The screen showed faces from different countries. The meeting started smoothly. One by one, people spoke confidently. Then my manager looked at me. "Lucas," she said, "do you want to share your update?" For a moment, everything felt quiet. I felt my heart beating in my chest. My mouth felt dry. My hands were cold. I could feel the old habit trying to take control. Stay quiet. Smile, let someone else speak. But something inside me resisted. I remembered all the evenings I practiced, all the ideas I kept hidden, all the times I stayed silent and felt disappointed later. I took a slow breath. "Yes," I said, "I'd like to explain something." My voice sounded different to my own ears, softer than I wanted, but clear enough. I looked at my notes, then back at the screen. "There is a small issue with the current plan," I said. "It's not big, but it could become a problem later." The room stayed quiet. I continued. "I noticed that the timeline overlaps in two areas. If we adjust this part, we can avoid delays." As I spoke, something unexpected happened. People listened. No one interrupted me. No one rushed me. I explained slowly. I paused when I needed to. I repeated ideas in simpler words. When I finished, my manager nodded. "That's a very good point," she said. "I'm glad you mentioned it." Someone else added, "Yes, that makes sense." I felt a warm feeling spread through my chest. Not excitement, not pride, relief. The afternoon continued, but I felt lighter, as if I had finally placed something down that I had been carrying for a long time. After the meeting, my manager stopped by my desk. "Thank you for speaking up today," she said. "You explained it very clearly." I smiled, a little surprised. "Thank you," I replied. That evening, as I walked home, I thought about the day. Nothing dramatic had happened, no applause, no big celebration. But something had changed. I had spoken even though I was scared, and the fear did not win. Over the next few days, I noticed small changes. I asked questions during calls. I shared ideas earlier, not at the last moment. I didn't wait for perfect sentences anymore. Sometimes I still made mistakes. Sometimes I searched for words. But I kept speaking. One afternoon, a new colleague joined our team. She looked nervous during her first meeting. She spoke quietly, then stopped halfway through a sentence. I recognized that feeling immediately. After the meeting, I sent her a message. "You did well today," I wrote. "It gets easier with practice." She replied with a smiley emoji and a simple thank you. That moment made me realize something important. Silence is comfortable, but it keeps you invisible. Speaking is uncomfortable, but it lets people see you. That night, I sat at my desk and practiced English again, but this time it felt different. I wasn't practicing because I felt weak. I was practicing because I wanted to grow. I listened to stories. I repeated sentences. I copied the rhythm and emotion of the speakers, not to sound perfect, but to sound real. Weeks later, my manager asked me to lead part of a presentation, not because I was the best speaker, but because I had shown effort. When the day came, I was still nervous, but I was also ready. I spoke slowly, I paused, I trusted myself, and that was enough. Now, when I think about English, I don't think about fear first. I think about opportunity. I understand that confidence doesn't arrive suddenly. It grows quietly, sentence by sentence. If I had stayed silent that day, I would still be waiting. But I spoke, and that changed everything. Now it's your turn. You can listen to this story again. Pause whenever you need. Repeat the sentences out loud. Focus on the sound. Focus on the rhythm. Feel the emotion. This is the shadowing technique. It works because it trains both your ear and your voice. Practice a little every day. Even 10 minutes is enough. Thank you for practicing with SpeakEasy Stories. You showed up today, and that matters. See you next time.